blowing a right hoolie out there. This is where I spend most of my time, I have to say. I spend more time here than I do sailing. And I do a lot of sailing, so I must spend a massive amount of time here. This is where I do the editing. And a very nice man from Newfoundland called Peter said that I should make a map of the trip. Actually did better than that. He sent me a map. He had made a template visit site. Here's the Keep Turning Left website, and here's the KTL master map. It's a standard Google Maps, and Google owns me. Google owns everything I've done over the last 8 years and will own everything I do probably until the day I die. That's the way the web works. So you got this map here, and there's a little box, View Larger Map. So you click it open, and here is the magic navigation. So you can see the map there. There's the whole route, and there are the films. About 150 of them now. I'm going to kill them one at a time and then open them up to show you what's happened with the journey so far and how to use the map. So you'll have the map open like this, and I'm just going to click on this, and this will make the first track. I'm going to zoom into the bottom. There's the journey. You can see where I started on the Isle of Wight, Chichester Harbour, Littlehampton, Eastbourne, Hastings, Rye, Folkestone, and then into the lovely, lovely Medway, and up the Thames as far as London, across the Thames, up the Roach and Crouch, and into Clacton-on-Sea. And here are the films, and there are 29 of them. Let me just show you how it works. So you can click on the film and New Haven to Rye, and there's a link there, and the film will appear here. Click on it and it should run. 29 films to start off with. I was making them quite short because I never really expected them to be on here. Oh, hello, here we go. There we are. Bit rough. There you go. It was rough actually in the little boat. Second year, going to kill those. Second year was Brightlingsea and the Essex Rivers. Doesn't look like many, but there are 28 films there, I think. You can see them. This is my old stomping ground where I used to sail when I was a kid. Brightlingsea and West Mersey. Let me try Beaumont Quay, Harwich and Stour. So we'll open this up. There's a Pioneer there in picture, about to come up. If you want to go to the website, there's lots of good things on the website. There are blokes leave very witty comments. They ask me questions, and also I ask them questions. Now, this is Vimeo, so you can click onto HD, and you can set it at 1080p, and then you expand it, and there it is. It will fill the full screen. And this is one of the ones from the Walton backwaters. Peeing along the shore this way. She's pushing her bow out. At some stage this shore is going to move away from us, and then she'll take off sailing. Here we go. Nearly. Two streams to go down. One there. Oh, this one here. I think this one might be slightly bigger. Then the third year, I did the Suffolk Rivers, and that is 16 films in green here. That was the winter that I spent on the Ald. Absolutely lovely river. This is my favourite river, is the Butley River. Gorgeous. I have to say the winter sailing was a bit robust. Here's a film about winter sailing. You may remember this is real winter sailing. Then in the spring of that year, I left the Roach and Crouch and I went up to the Broads. Brilliant. The Broads is 13 films. This is in purple. You can see I went in the Broads, did the South Broads to Beccles and up the Blythe at Southwold, and then I did the South Broads to Beccles, and then I came up to Horning and I filmed the Three Rivers race, which is a pretty good wheeze actually. Very good. Enjoyed that immensely. Here's the Three Rivers race. Do you remember this?
That was the first race underway. Rebel 8 off to splendid start position. You can see chops into clean air. Clean air is very important to all sailors. These sailing boats leave a real mess in the air behind them. Their sails chop and twist and send little end trails of wind all over the place. So number 8 at the moment is in perfect position because he isn't messed up by anybody's, as we call it, dirty air. Jolly good start. All clear.
Good one.
Well, you won't see a tighter start than that. Absolutely on the line as the gun went, and away goes Mr. Bainbridge. Just have a look in that, beautifully restored. See if you can crane your necks up and just see how beautiful that boat is inside. But Woods.
Norfolk dinghies.
And there are 5 of these.
Next up are the hire cruisers. Always good for a laugh. The boats are booked years in advance, although there are a few corporate crews who can always be expected to cause problems.
Relatively speaking, heavier boats and don't manoeuvre on a sixpence like some of the...
The odd bit of illegal fending off. And 3 boats over the line.
Right, H6, H9 and H1. Sorry, you are... Slow ahead now. Thank you very much.
And in returning, they've forfeited all rights.
Go ahead now, we'll be clear.
And here comes the only rude word of the afternoon, when this bloke uses his bowsprit to take a chunk out of one of his competitors.
People who took part in the first race, and they're going to sail without the British. They're going to sail as far as the end, Southwest Road, and then return. There'll be no British to shoot.
Then the fleet heads off along the river, while mobos try to squeeze past. I feel sorry for mobo drivers who don't understand how a sailing boat works. It must seem completely random to them. And yes, every year, Mobos lose windows to errant bowsprits.
Give it some revs, Jill.
After a bit on the Broads, it was about most of the summer, I then took the boat around to North Norfolk and spent a year at Wells next to the sea and a bit of time in Wisbeach. Not that many films from those 2 years because the weather went bad on me. But here's a film about Wells Bar. What a splendid place Wells Bar is. Can't think of a nicer place. Absolute piece of sculpture. At least I did think it was the best place until I got further north to Lindisfarne. Here's a bit of Wells Bar. Back towards the track again. So, what have I got? 5'4". There's plenty of water, but the trouble is here it can go away very fast. You can, you've got 5 foot 1 minute, and the next minute you've got 3 foot, and then you can. Here in North Norfolk, actually, that was when I built the duck punt, and I took it around the back from Wells next. I built the duck punt. There's a film on the website about it, and I took it around the back through this channel here into Blakeney. Here's the film about duck punting. So nicely. And then I eventually gave up on the engine, on the Slug, the Beast. So I bought the Hunter Minstrel and launched it in Wells next to the sea. Here's a little film of the Hunter Minstrel. How does she sail? She sails jolly well, is the answer. Absolute treat of a boat. Absolute treat of a boat. and I sailed her up the Humber. Here's a little film about what the Humber's like. Lovely place. The next year, I spent the early summer, exploring the Humber. Went as far as York in the early spring here, through York, right inland. And I also went to Lincoln. Here's a shot of shooting the bridge in Lincoln. If you want to download the films, by the way, there's a download button underneath. You right-click and save as, and it will save to your hard drive. And then you can stick them on a dongle and give them to other sailors. I don't care. And then I took her up to Bridlington, Scarborough, Whitby. Whitby, what a great place Whitby is. Staithes, Middlesbrough, Hartlepool, Newcastle upon Tyne, Sunderland, into Blythe, Warwick and Alnwick, lovely, and then into Lindisfarne. And Lindisfarne is the Farne Islands are such a good place to sail. So lovely, lovely, lovely. And you get to sail around this sculpture here. What could be better than that? Absolutely brilliant. Here's a bit of sailing in Lindisfarne. This is what it's actually like.
Lindisfarne has been a holy site for over 1,000 years. In the course of this journey, I've been to some deeply spiritual places, but I've never encountered somewhere like this. The way the population ebbs and flows with the tide, its position of being half mainland, half island, the way the mists hang around, the seals calling and the bells tolling, the ancient stone walls and the buildings, and their even older stories, all added up to more than the sum of the parts. The diary tells us that we were here for 5 days, but it felt like 2.
sailed her the rest of the way up to Anstruther and overwintered her at Anstruther. And during that winter, my plan the following year was to take KTL up and over the top. But my son said he wanted to come sailing, and my daughter said, and my son's girlfriend and Jill. So that was going to be 5 of us on the Minstrel. So that was never going to fly. So that's how I acquired the Centaur. I went to Littlehampton and bought the boat for £1. That was the deal.
Yeah, that one's going.
All right.
That's just sold. It's got no rudder.
He said there was an old Centaur in the council yard at Littlehampton. The bloke there was throwing in the towel for medical reasons, and the boat was facing a doubtful future, maybe saved, maybe stripped and scrapped. She had some yard bills owing on her. She needed some work done. Quite a bit of work, actually. But come March the 17th, she was going to be craned in or would have to be removed by truck and dealt with elsewhere. So Jill and I drove down, expecting the worst. Which is how I came to own Harmony.
It's astonishing when you use them at the last.
Oh no, here it is. Wow, that looks absolutely fine. And then I refurbished her and then spent the summer sailing around. In the Solent, I went up the Hamble, which is the most amazing thing. I have to say, the Solent has the rudest motorboat owners I've ever come across. Absolutely horrible people. They really, really are. The Hamble Scramble. Watch this.
I'll sail, and wherever I go, where the waters are high or the pulleys are low, I'll follow the trade winds wherever they blow, and trust in the rolling ocean. I'll sail, and I'll leave this behind, though the crossing be cruel or the currents unkind. I'll open my heart to whatever I find, and trust in the rolling ocean. I'll sail, and wherever I land, I'll gather the bones and the stones in my hand, and count all my blessings like grains in the sand, trust in the rolling ocean. Ocean.
And once I knew that the boat was okay, I then sailed it almost in one go with Roger and John up the east coast. Took us about 4.5 days to get to Scarborough. It's about 3:30 in the morning, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're just about coming up to the end of our first 24 hours, and we've done 85 miles, which, given the wind direction, isn't that bad. and the wind is slowly shifting around to the south as promised, although it was supposed to do it a long time ago. So we're making really good progress. For the first time, we are actually sailing in the direction we want to go, as opposed to having to beat.
Better once you get off the point.
Maybe. So, how was your first proper overnighter?
Very exhilarating, yeah.
Was it?
Very interesting, yeah. Very sort of high speed.
Would you do it again?
Yes, yeah.
You would?
Yeah, I'd do it
Would
again.
you do it another week?
Of course I would, mate. It's been the last 70 years. You aren't actually filming this, are you?
Yeah.
Alright.
Do all three at once.
There you go, fish. Yeah. Over.
Tell me it now.
What's that?
About them looking like cobras.
Oh, just where the waves rise up. It looks like a cobra that's been caught with a stick. There we go. Like that.
We've got about another 22 hours of this.
Sorry. Let's do a C60 field and Lucas
Yeah. Anstruther, 4 hours and 44 minutes. It says here it's 489 miles, so it's going to be pretty bang on 500 miles. Maximum speed 14.7 knots. I've no idea where that come from. Must have just been falling off a wave somewhere. Moving average 4.1 knots. I was aiming for 4 knots at moving average. Time moving 120 hours 38 minutes so far. Anstruther, 21 miles. It's been brilliant. I have to say it's been a lot of work to get this boat into the place where KTL was in February. Massive amount of work just to change boats, but it's been fun. I mean, you only go around the hamster wheel of life once, and you might as well enjoy what you do. And I've had a fantastic time. Still am having a fantastic time, and I really hope it's going to be a brilliant summer. And when we got to Anstruther, Roger and John left, and the family turned up.
Forgive me if the tone of this next film changes. How could it do anything other than be transformed by the arrival of 4 new bodies to sail on Harmony? They had driven the 500 miles up from Buckingham in one go. They burst out of the car, and I confess they went a bit mad. So we stayed around Stonehaven for a day to let them burn off some excess energy. Harmony's normally well-ordered cabin was engulfed in a tidal wave of bodies, bedding, hair and shoes, but it was wonderful. So we headed out of Stonehaven and had some great coastal sailing. The wind had swung around to the south and brought warmth and sunshine with it. A sunny midsummer Scottish day is a lovely long thing to experience, especially with a force 2 or 3 filling the spinnaker.
What is?
I love watching the invisible physics of sailing, to feel the presence of the wind and the way this gracefully clever 4-ton contrivance of plastic and aluminium can turn moving air into forward motion. I'm amazed that others do not gaze in awe at such a miraculous machine.
And then we sailed her up the east coast. By the time into the Murray Firth, and then by the time I got to Wick, family had run out of time, so it was just Jill and I, and we took her up to Orkney in Shetland, and that's where the series has got so far.
Not as bad as it
Solvay though, really.
Next morning didn't look that much better, but we set off and picked up the powerful tide that soon had us romping along the sound between Shapinsay and the main island. It was a fast fetch with the tide surging underneath us, and the light playing tricks with the surrounding islands and threatening clouds made it a magical experience.
Knots, 7.5 knots. It's not a tide.
Going down any of the straits which are horrible.
This is Boyd here. This is the main channel in and out. And it's sheltered in this direction. So I'll just zoom that out and show you what the map will look like when you open it. I'm going to stitch all these things back in. Whoa, what, 150 films. And John and I then sailed the Centaur down to Glasgow, where I sold her for £8,000, gave £4,000 to the bloke who'd given me the boat for £1, and then came back. We spent a year, Jill and I spent a year exploring this east coast in more detail, some lovely sand harbours there in the Minstrel. And now I bought a second Centaur down at the Fowl.
That's all just anti-fouled.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Go,
can I keep my boots on? They are clean. Okay.
Do what you want to do. Put your head.
Which is why they've filmed a bit from the Fowl. Paid $5.5k for that, and now in the end of May I'm going to sail it up, straight up here with two blokes, a doctor from Colchester and an ex-highway patrol major, don't really know what that means, from Illinois. And he's going to come sailing with us. We're going to sail straight from the Fowl up the Irish coast to a mooring on Plockton. Should be good. Okay. That'll be grand. I do warn you, though, that when you look at the website, you might see a few of these, which are drop-down PayPal boxes. Winter storage, to cover things like winter storage bills, insurance, diesel, mooring, pontoons. I mean, for instance, I've just left. By the time I leave Mylor, I will probably have left about £3,000 there. Doing this is not cheap. Fortunately, about 1 in 20 of you guys chips in towards the cost of the journey, which is very nice of you. Very nice of you indeed. I'm very grateful to you.